At the party that night, under 1,000 golden lights, everyone thought it was over between them, and so did she. When she saw him across the hall, standing in a crisp black suit, laughter echoing around him, her heart did something it hadn't done in months, it trembled. She had promised herself she wouldn't look back, that she'd move on, smile, and pretend he was just another face in the crowd. But when his eyes found hers across the room, time stopped. And no one, absolutely no one, expected what he was about to say before the night was over. If you're watching this right now, take a moment, because what happens next might remind you that sometimes love doesn't end, it just gets lost waiting to be found again. Stay with this story till the end, and if it touches your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because stories like this deserve to be felt, not just heard. She, Ira Malik, was the kind of girl who loved deeply but spoke softly. The last time she saw Rayan, it had been raining. They stood on opposite sides of an argument that neither truly wanted. She had begged him to believe in her dreams, her art, her need to find herself before losing herself in love. But he, tired of her distance and fear, had walked away. One day, you'll realize love isn't something you find after your dreams. It's what carries you through them, he had said before leaving. Months passed. Ira poured her heartbreak into her paintings, each stroke whispering what her lips couldn't say. Tonight, her best friend had dragged her to a charity event, ironically, hosted by Rayan's company. She had refused at first, but fate has a way of leading hearts back to unfinished stories. The music was soft, the laughter too loud, and the lights far too bright. Ira felt like she didn't belong. Until she heard a familiar laugh behind her. She turned, and there he was. Rayan. Older somehow. Calmer. His eyes still carried that storm she had once loved and feared. Their gaze locked. He smiled politely, the way strangers do when memories still burn between them. "Didn't think I'd see you here," he said, his tone gentle but guarded. "I almost didn't come," she replied, trying to sound steady. There was silence. The kind that stretches like a thread, thin, fragile, waiting to snap. Then someone called him on stage. He was the guest speaker for the night. She almost slipped away quietly, but his voice stopped her mid-step. "Before I begin," he said into the microphone, "there's someone here I never thought I'd see again. Someone who once taught me that love isn't about holding on, it's about letting the other person grow." Ira froze. People turned to look around. Rayan's eyes were only on her. "She probably doesn't know this," he continued, his voice steady, "but every success I've had since she left came from something she once said. If it's meant for you, it'll find its way back. I didn't understand it then. But I do now. Because even standing here tonight, I realize, some people never really leave you. They just wait for you to become who you were meant to be." Her eyes welled up. She couldn't breathe. The crowd clapped, unaware that those words weren't just part of his speech, they were his heart, laid bare before everyone. After his talk, she tried to disappear again, but he found her near the balcony, where city lights melted into the night. "You didn't have to say all that," she whispered. "I did," he said softly. "Because I never walked away to forget you. I walked away so I could come back as someone worthy of standing beside you." Her tears fell freely now. "You think it's that easy?" "No," he said. "But I think love isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be real." And in that moment, as silence fell between them, she realized something. Love doesn't always come back with roses or promises, it comes back with truth. They stood there, neither speaking, both knowing that sometimes a second chance doesn't need words, it needs timing, forgiveness, and a heart brave enough to try again. The night ended with no grand gestures, no dramatic confessions. Just two people walking side by side toward the exit, quietly, like the beginning of something new, not the end of something old. Weeks later, Ira's art gallery opened. And among the paintings hung one that caught every visitor's attention, a portrait of two silhouettes under city lights, captioned, "He didn't walk away forever. He just took the long way home." Rayan stood beside her as people admired the piece. He leaned closer and whispered, "You were always the art, Ira. I just needed time to learn how to see you." She smiled, tears in her eyes. "Then don't stop looking this time." And this time, he didn't. If this story touched your heart, remember, sometimes people come back not because they were lost, but because they finally found the courage to love you right. Sparkling heart, like this video if you believe in second chances.